Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer 40,000, and today we're taking a look at the Tyranids, and in particular the Hive Fleet Kronos subfaction of the army. In this video we're going to go through, talk a little bit about what makes Hive Fleet Kronos special for the Tyranids. We'll then take a look at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for the faction. After that, we're going to take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon those couple of initial purchases, before finally finishing off the video with a little sample 750 point list for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own Hive Fleet Kronos army. And so, the abilities, the Hive Fleet adaptation we get with Hive Fleet Kronos is Bio Barrage. This allows us to add 4 inch to the range characteristic of ranged weapons that models with this adaptation have equipped. This is pretty good. Like, straight up, this is just going to push us down a shooting Tyranid list. We're going to get, a longer range, so this can be really helpful with just making that shooting list work. Now we've got the adaptive as well. Each time a model with this adaptation makes a ranged attack that targets a unit within half its range, improve the armor penetration characteristic of the attack by 1. Now that might sound like you have to get awfully close to your opponent to have to use that, but remember, you are adding 4 inch to the weapon's range characteristic, so you can be an extra 2 inches back on wherever your half-inch range would be. So this can be pretty useful at making sure you are staying, on the edge of charge ranges and stuff like that. Your opponent's going to have to roll some long bomb charges, generally to get in with your shorter ranged weapons you're going to be taking within the force. Now, looking at where to get started with the Tyranids for Hive Fleet Kronos, and I think the Hive Tyrant for me is the best of the bunch. This is just a tough creature. It's got 12 wounds, toughness 8, 5 attacks, 2 up save, weapon skill plus skill 2+. He's got availability to him in the Heavy Venom Cannon, 36 inch range, heavy 3, strength 9, minus 3 AP, damage 4 weapon, or the Stranglethorn Cannon for 36 inch range, heavy D3 plus 3, strength 8, minus 2 AP, damage 2, blast weapon. You can take a couple of combat options as well, and you can also take Adrenal Glands for +1 move and +1 strength, and Toxin Sacs as well to allow his melee attacks on unmodified wound rollers of 6 to hit to automatically wound. On top of this, he's got the Will of the Hive Mind ability, where in your command phase you can select a friendly Hive Fleet core unit within synaptic link range, and each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you reroll hit rolls of 1. He's got a 4-up Invon save as well, and he does some mortal wounds to enemies when they kill him in melee. Now, alongside this monster, you have the Tyranid Warriors. For me, these are the best shooting option you're going to get. Now, you've first of all got 24 inch range on your Death Spitters, which are going to be able to be taken by all of your Tyranid Warriors. For me, this is the best way to go with ranged weapons. There'll be 28 inch in Hive Fleet. And so there'll be strength 5, AP minus 2, damage 1. Now you got option of Barb Stranglers or the Venom Cannon. The Venom Cannon will have a Assault D3, Strength 8, minus 3 AP, damage 2 blast. You'll get Assault D6 though if you go with the Barb Strangler for Strength 6, minus 1 AP, damage 1 blast. Both definitely have different options. They do cost the same points, and while I would recommend, if you're playing an all-comers list, maybe have one of each. If you've got a local meta that's maybe more hoardy and more single wound models, lots of Guard, lots of Elder, lots of other Tyranids even, Barb Stranglers are probably the way to go, but if you're finding lots of Space Marines and lots of armoured troops, the Venom Cannon is maybe the way to go instead. Now, looking at where to go next, it's obvious we're going to be looking at a couple of heavy support options, and the first one of these is the Exocrine. The Bioplasmic Cannon is heavy D3 plus 6 shots, strength 8, minus 4 AP, damage 3 blast. Fantastic at taking out things like Terminators, even Space Marines, and some of the other tough units in the game. It's a really nice gun in all honesty, because it can be used to get rid of hordes with that blast weapon, or indeed against some heavy armoured targets thanks to having strength 8. The symbiotic targeting allows it in your movement phase. This model remains stationary and moves a total distance less than half its move characteristic. It'll not allow opponents to take cover against its attack, which is really cool. This is just a super good support range piece for the army. Now, looking into elites, the Pyrovore I think is really fun inside the subfaction. First of all, his Burning Spray, the Assault D6 weapon that it has, can be strength 6 minus 2 AP, damage 2, and automatically hits, will be 16 inch. But also the Pyro Gout, which will be strength 4 minus 1 AP, damage 1, assault 2d6, will be 22 inch. So I really do think the Pyrovores get a lot out of that extra 4 inch. They've also got the volatile rule, where each time a model in this unit is destroyed, roll 1d6 before removing it to play. On a 6 it explodes, and each unit within 3 inches suffers a mortal wound. Now, looking at the Pyrovore's heavy support cousin, I do like Pyrovores. They're not the most competitive choice, but I really do like them. I think they're one of the coolest sort of concepts, dropping spore mines on your opponent. Now, they've got heavy D3 each, and they have the indirect fire rule. The weapon can target units that are not visible to the bearer, so long as they have a visible friendly synapse unit that can target them. And each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, the target suffers a mortal wound and the attack sequence ends. Now, they can also choose to seed spore mines at the start of the shooting phase. They can perform this special action, and this allows you to put spore mines onto the battlefield. And speaking of spore mines, they are a nice little thing to bring. Now, this unit cannot automatically pass morale, they cannot perform actions, they cannot declare charges. This unit and any models within it are ignored for the purposes of scoring any missions objectives, and each time an enemy unit is set up on the battlefield, this unit and any models within it are ignored for the purposes of rules specifying where your opponent can't deploy. The unit ignored for the purposes of lookout, so effectively they are ignored for everything. Now, each time this enemy unit makes a normal move, advances, fallbacks, or makes a charge move, until that move is finished, models in the unit can move horizontally through spore mines as well. However, each time a model in this unit ends a move within 3 inches of any enemy unit, or an enemy unit ends its move with any of its models within 3 inches of this unit, that model can explode and the model is destroyed. Select one of the enemy units and roll 1d6. On a 2 to 4, the selected enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 5+, they'll take d3 mortal wounds. They can also be put up in reserve as well if you're choosing to put them in your army. So they can be a nice little mortal wound bomb around the table. And so here we have our sample army list for the Hive fleet. Now, we're playing obviously in Hive Fleet Kronos. We're going to use the base adaptive for this. And we've gone with a Hive Tyrant who's going to be our Warlord. Now, he's going to have both a Relic and a Warlord trait using 2 command points that we start with 3, where we're getting refunded for our patrol detachment because our Warlord is in the battalion. Now, his Warlord trait is going to be Direct Guidance. This is just going to allow him in the command phase to select a Hive Fleet core unit within Synaptic Linkage range, and they'll get +1 to their hit rolls. He's then also going to have the Relic, which is going to be quite a fun one. We're going to choose to give him a special type of Stranglethorn cannon available to called the Balethorn Cannon. This changes the profile of your Stranglethorn cannon to 36-inch, heavy D3 +3, which will be strength 10, AP -3, damage 3, and blast. For our troops, we've got 2 units of Tyranid warriors. They're both going to be toting dual bone swords on all the models. For me, just the best weapon options to have. And then we've got a couple of Despitters in both units, and then we've got a Barb Strangler and Venom Cannon in either option of the units. Remembering, if you've got, a sort of local meta, you can easily swap out the weapons for which one works for you. Elites-wise, we've got 2 Pyrovores, and then heavy support, we have 2 Biovores as well. I just love them. And an Exocrine in there for a perfect 750 points, 36 power level, 1 CP left over. If you've got some thoughts on how to do a shooting Tyranid list, let us know down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also drop us a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our community here at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. If you'd like to help support the channel more, you can do so either by Patreon or YouTube members, or going to our Teespring store, all of which are linked down in the video's description as well. As a special thank you to our patrons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So, a special Patreon shout out to Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Our Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cader, Derek Bloobs, Benjamin Suarez, and Red Martin. And as thank you to our YouTube members as well, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink, Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, and Davis Wire. Special thanks also to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel, like you can see pictured here on this slide. Thank you once again for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.